Greetings. There's another very important topic we must discuss. Things can be hidden sometimes. They can be hidden in plain sight, and you never know they were there. Concealed by things. Tight things, I should say. Listen very, very closely. In order to resist the attraction and pull of these baddies, you gotta know how to detect these baddies. It's not just your eyes. It's your brain and your eyes. So it's more like this, yes. So like they be wearing tights, right? Now here's the thing. Tight clothing, they conceal things. You know this. If you're a smart individual, you know this. I mean, look at this. I've got a shit ton of hair hidden under this hat. You would have never guessed that. Anyways, so like what do you do if there's like some super thick VTuber thigh hip tata having baddie? She's got chi-chis for days, double D melons. Just a sec. I mean like bready or label. The list goes on and on. I'm just saying. Like, I don't even know how those got in there, honestly. Those were just on my phone somehow. But anyways, more important part is like, how do you detect them? First off, we need to discuss shape. When you're looking at a baddie, you wouldn't expect, just like this can, just straight, normal, regular. She'll have like a pear, it's like it goes like hold on. Yeah, like this. So the hips, where the torso is, it'll come down and it'll go into the thighs, just like that. That's the general shape. If you can detect that, you'll just avoid those people. If you're trying to get away from the pool of baddies, otherwise, you know what, man, just dive in there. Just be like, you know what I mean? Anyways, never mind. That's besides the point. Another thing you need to notice, but not stare at, as to not give away not give away that you're trying to avoid the baddie in the first place, is the chi-chis. Now, let me give you an example. Just hold on a second. Just hold on. I gotta get the set example ready. Are you holding on? You best be holding on. Let's say I was wearing a sick-ass Under Armour shirt, but let's also say that I just happened to be a baddie, and I had like some huge freaking, some huge freaking, yeah. This is how you recognize a baddie. Like if you see that kind of action, you're looking at a baddie. Anyways, that's the first part. The next part is the hips. You gotta be watching for those hips. Oh wait, I already mentioned that. But yeah, like you understand where I'm coming from. This is a very dangerous part because I'm telling you, there is probably a greater ratio of guys out there who pay more attention to booty and hips than they do chi-chis. And that is a scientifically proven fact. It was actually, the research for it was actually done at NASA and SpaceX. They both concluded this fact. So now you're probably wondering, well, what if I'm someone who prefers chi-chis over the hips, the thick thighs and such? Well, basically what you can do is you can do a sort of alternation, force yourself to pay attention not to one specific one, but also not one specific other one. Alternate between the two. This method did not work for me. I'm spouting complete and total bullshit, but I know it'll work for you. So, yeah, you just alternate between the two, and you say you keep your brain guessing. You know what I mean? You keep your brain guessing. You're like, I like thighs. Yes, yes. No, actually, I like chi-chis. Oh no, forget that, man. I like the thighs again. Yes, they're very squishy. You got the pear shape. No, the chi-chis are better. They're more squishy, bigger, more upfront, more accessible. Nope. Wrong. I like the thighs. They're good to admire from a distance. If you don't like to admire from this, what are you doing if you don't know admire from a distance? No. I like the chi-chis. Those are better. They're perky. They point out. It's like they're calling out to me. Oh, are those boobies? Oh, no, I didn't look at them. I swear they looked at me first. Wait, I was actually just looking at the thighs over here. Uh, it reminds me of those thingies at the car wash that brush against the side of the car, you know what I mean? That's why I was looking at them, because it reminded me of that. But actually, I was looking over here, and I was thinking of burying my face in there, like it was a couple pillows, you know what I mean? But that's not actually what I was thinking. That was just a joke anyways. And I was actually looking over here. Anyways, I wasn't even looking over there in the first place, because I'm not attracted to those. I'm attracted to thighs. Just look at those things. It's like a couple of soft stuffed animals. I just want to hug them, And then there's the chi-chis. Yes, it's like, it's like they were calling out to me. I could hear it in my head. Your chest was telepathically communicating with me in my brain. Now I'm smart. I have a big head in my brain. So, I know some stuff, and I know it is possible. Do not call it bullcrap. This has been scientifically proven on multiple occasions. Multiple occasions. Socrates, Aristotle, Pythagoras, Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, Elon Musk, they all said it. They all said it. There is a bigger ratio of men who like thighs and rears than there is of men who prefer chi-chis. So like I said, keep your brain guessing. Just go back and forth. You never know. Keep you guessing. Where am I? Am I over here? Or am I over here? No, I was over. No, actually, I was over here the whole time. I don't know what you're talking about. Are those thighs? No. I like the chi-chis. But I was not looking at your thighs. I wasn't looking at your boobs. Even if I was, they looked at me first. I already said that. Anyways, yeah. You get it. I mean, it's just common knowledge. If you have common sense, then you'll understand this. You won't need to ask any questions. So, if you can get the detection down, you can get the avoidance down. There's a third video I didn't have to make because I just explained it two at the same time. You're welcome. Thank you for watching, because I'm right. Now, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about this, right? You'll be out there, you'll be running around. Is that a pair of thighs? Nope. I'm not interested. I was already looking at these chi-chis. But that's not true, because I was looking at these thighs I just told you I wasn't interested in. But that is also a lie, because I was looking at these chi-chis right after I lied to you about not being interested in these thighs before I lied to you about looking at the chi-chis before as well. Do you understand where I'm coming from? This is proven common knowledge. If you don't get it, do the research. They got the For Dummies books on it. You know how it goes, man. But detection? When it comes to not being attracted, it's that's a whole other ball game. But this is the real deal. And I'm telling you, keep your brain guessing. Keep your brain guessing. You know what I mean? Yeah, just keep it guessing. Cause if your brain never knows what you're gonna be into next, there's no predictable outlier for that, because it never knows. it never knows what you're gonna like next, which means that you can't psychologically be attracted to one thing at a time if you keep tricking your brain into thinking you're already attracted to one other thing anyways. I can prove this. So the other day, I was in the Spanish 1 class with my boy Chris, right? And it was me, Chris, and Adam. We were all sitting across from each other. This chick stands up and like shimmies up her pants and stuff. And I was looking and I was like, God damn, them thighs though. And I look back at Chris and he's like, yo, you can't say that. But you right though. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And so we came to a mutual agreement that those were some good ass thighs, right? But anyways. Do you think it's a coincidence that I wasn't the only one who noticed this? This is a phenomenon, a proven phenomenon. It is something that happens chemically, psychologically. Who knows? Who knows what kind of crap goes up on in there? But when you're like looking, when you're like attracted to that general shape, it's like you'll notice a pattern. You will see a few outliers, and those outliers will be the people that are more chi-chi drawn. But this, like, I was helping to prove a point. This is proven. I have this friend named Adam. I'm pretty sure he said the same thing. You know what Adam said, in fact? You know what Adam said? He said, hey, Aiden, you were right. You were right the whole time. She had huge freaking thighs. I'm gonna quote him. He said, I'm surprised I didn't take a dive in there myself because I totally wanted to. I wanted to take a dive in there. I wanted to swim around in there and explore. You know what I mean? But he's a man of self-control, so he didn't. I advised him against it. He was about to like go do a bunch of dumb stuff, but luckily I stepped in and I made sure he didn't do any of that. You know, that reminds me, I also had this friend Luke who screamed the N-word in art class. It was pretty funny, but that's off topic anyways. But as I was saying, 2 people nearly indulged in this and may have lost their lives. They very well could have died. I saved Adam's life. I saved Chris's life. I saved them. They owe their lives to me now. I'm a good person. They don't call me Black Star for nothing. They call me multiple names, actually. Black Star, Gendarme, Cuirassier, the Thigh Guy, Gendarme, which is just gendarme but mispronounced because they're idiots, and yeah. They also call me Arctura Online, which, by the way, is supposed to be my last name. It's not official yet. Anyways, you get the gist of it. I don't know if there's much more to be said, but watch your backs. You never know. You see these? Take them out of your ears. You know, just take them out. Just get rid of them. Always be listening. Always be watching. Because, like, you'll never know. You could be walking around one day with your headphones in and you could turn around and there's just this big pair of tatas right there just staring you in the eye. And you've come face to face with something you're fighting against. And hell, I dare say you might even be compelled to reach out and give them a little grab of your own. Just stay safe out there and watch your backs. Because this is a real threat. We all need to work together as the anti-thigh guys, the anti-chi-chi guys, to deal with this situation accordingly. Peace.